and welcome back to Week 4, Day 2 of the HCS Pro League Fall Season. I'm Elamite, and joined at the Xfinity desk once again, Tom T-Squared Taylor, and we are getting ready for our final match of the night, our match of the week, Evil Geniuses with a rematch against Optic Gaming.
It's the time to tweet the stream, guys. You know what it is. You're watching it right now. Twitch.tv/Halo. If you're rooting for Optic Gaming, put a 1 in the chat room. If you're rooting for Evil Geniuses, put a number 2. And yes, Evil Geniuses, they are looking to bounce back after a really rough series of games, Kyle.
And of course, the Evil Geniuses lineup, we've got Lunchbox and Roy, the twins, followed up by Ninja, who's been with the squad, and then the newest addition, Stellar, who is replacing Victory X, who was on that lineup when they actually defeated Optic that first time. Now, they did not have any success in Week 3, going 0-6. That's why they ended up making a change, picking up Stellar here, who was, like we said many times before, one of the most coveted free agents during this change. And then, of course, looking to battle and defeat this powerhouse squad of Optic Gaming. We've got Frosty, Royal 2, Snakebite here, and Lethal.
Yeah, these guys, we know what they're capable of. They didn't have a very great performance yesterday under their standards, going all the way to Game 5 with Luminosity, even being down in that series 2-1. So I think that they're going to be coming out even hotter than normal, because we all know the story with Lethal formerly on this squad of Evil Geniuses before. Seems like such a long time ago, but it really wasn't, because of so much has happened since then. So a lot remains to be seen, and there's a lot of storylines going into this game.
Yeah, I mean, we already know Evil Geniuses did steal that first Week 1 victory there, but of course, we have a lot more, things happening here behind the scenes between these squads. Optic Gaming's been struggling to close out some of the series, and they've had a lot of nail biters. On the other hand, with the exception of that convincing victory that EG had, they have been struggling, extremely. Not even yesterday, not even showing up here too. So even with that newest change, when you really need to come out and perform well, we saw the exact opposite result, where Victory X is the one that's almost getting the better end of the deal.
Yeah, he's feeling really comfortable on Luminosity, so we'll see what happens. I know that these guys are all at the Xfinity training facility, so I know that they're definitely applying the amount of time that they need to get the job done. It's just a matter of showing up and performing, so we'll see what happens today. And again, Ninja had kind of an upsetting performance yesterday. We'll see how he's going to respond today. I think that these guys are going to definitely come out hot out of the gate. I was taking a look at seeing them in custom games hours before this one even started, so I think that they're coming in warm. They're ready to apply themselves, but the thing is it's going up against Optic Gaming, so it's going to be extremely difficult.
Right, and let's go ahead and take a look at the series layout here, where these two teams are going to be matching up. We got Empire Strongholds. We've seen some exciting games on that already here today. Plaza Slayer, back and forth blowouts is what we've really been having happen on there. Then a Truth Flag, Eden Strongholds, and then a Game 5 Rig Slayer. Like, these game types, taking a look at them at first, I believe wasn't Evil Genius and Optic matched up on Strongholds Empire before, and it was Evil Geniuses taking that victory 100-73. And then, of course, in that previous series, Game 5 was, or in that Week 1, the Rig Slayer was Game 5, but with Evil Geniuses able to take that victory 3-1, they never even made it there.
Yeah, and looking at these game types, I think that they did a nice job on EG, again, with this little poll here. Empire Strongholds, even though that they lost it yesterday, I do believe that Strongholds on Empire is one of Ninja's best game types, and Rig Slayer. So game number 1 and 5, I really feel like he can shine in those. And then in Plaza Slayer, just in general, the Roybox combo, they kind of helped develop the meta of this game type originally back in the X Games era, as well as Lethal as well. So both of these teams very familiar with all of these game types. It's going to be an absolute brawl.
And it's interesting to see Plaza Slayer actually squeak through, because in that 3-1 victory in Week 1, Plaza Slayer was the game that Optic Gaming actually took. I believe that one was 50-42. So the fact that they lost that and are allowing it to come back in here to the replay is interesting. Now, is that going to be, they think they've improved on it with the addition of Stellar, or did they just kind of follow the same veto systems that they'd used the first time and hoping they replicate the same success?
Yeah, probably. I'm assuming that they just tried to do as much as they did in the first series to try to replicate it, like you're saying. And I think that this is a decent pick and a decent draw for EG. So shout out to Tawi and Ogre 2 for help putting that together. But at the same time, based on how they're playing, it's not going to matter what the game types are going to be. They're going to have to perform. And, we've talked about it before, this Optic Gaming squad, even though they're not as good online as they are on land. They're a force to be reckoned with, and with the bad blood that these two teams have, I think that both of them are just going to come out extremely, extremely determined to win.
All right, now obviously you got to give the benefit of the doubt here to Optic Gaming, but we'll stay on board here with Evil Geniuses through the start of this game, see if they're going to be able to continue the victory here. And let's kick this off here with Stellar as he immediately rushes bottom center, and you can see in those player outlines, looks like Optic Gaming is putting all of their resources over here to securing this overshield.
Really like this start coming out from Stellar. Aggressive play. Instead of going for the pit, elects to go in towards the pit to the turbine to help for the overshield. I think that overshield was burned. No, it's actually still there. So eventually does get that one at the 40 mark, Kyle. So keep that one in mind. 940 is when the next overshield will come up. Both side bases being captured from the opposing teams here. Lunchbox getting a kill onto Royal 2. Make that a double onto Frosty. So he's stepping it up big to start this one. That's going to be 3 dead. All 4 dead for Optic Gaming. EG, that's the start that they needed.
That was a great play by Stellar. He was using that overshield very effectively when he was pushing in the blue base. He got the 1 kill on the player weak, and then there was a nade that came from his dead body that actually picked up the kill on Snakebite after he ground pounded Stellar. So regardless, a 2-for-1 trade in his benefit, and that's going to work out as a triple cap is over to Evil Geniuses to start this off here. This is going to be a big 1v1. Now, it is a trade, but nobody got the reset here, and Ninja will ultimately pick that one up. Still triple cap here for Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, they're going to give up the triple cap, but they need to make sure that they don't overextend here and give up any deaths, especially Lunchbox fighting this player lethal because he did have Ninja over there crouching out towards the red fan. Ninja getting even more aggressive over there, looking for more players, and Roy trying to do his job to stay alive. But the thing is they've given nice shots, but they've given up a little bit of map control because everybody's now spread out. You can see they've split into tower and outside now for Optic Gaming, so the communication is going to be a little bit hectic here for EG, and that's going to be pit going on over to Optic Gaming. So 28 points, not the best setup, but not the worst setup either for EG. Either way, this is a really fantastic sign for them because if they were to start getting triple capped, just like Optic Gaming was going, it's really going to mess with them a little bit. And it's also an even better sign that they were able to retake pit so quickly and only 5 points going over to Optic Gaming.
Yeah, and look at this. They're going to capture red base more quickly than blue base is going to be able to pick up by Optic. So another brief triple cap here. And if there's going to be a trade and a reset, Lunchbox going clutch here. That's exactly what Evil Geniuses wants to see here. Still a triple cap in their favor. Optic Gaming really struggling here to lock down any of these side bases.
It's good to see this EG play today because this is not the team that was there yesterday. We were talking about, Ninja playing H1Z1, things like that. It's mainly because of his mechanics not being there, but you look today, his mechanics are completely on point. The decision making is there. He's completely focused and refreshed. Look at that, immediately pushing into red base, looking for the other player, looking for the reset, getting it. The Ninja has arrived that we all know and love, and no better time to do it than against Optic Gaming.
Oh, and Optic's just starting to get steamrolled here. They're not able to get anything going. They're losing lots of these 1v1 battles. Ninja, I'd like to see him just use these shots. Okay, there we go. He drops that weapon, leaves the bullets in there to be a little bit of a distraction. Somebody from Optic Gaming might pick that up and realize, oh gosh, I just wasted a bunch of time.
Yeah, smart play by Ninja not to overextend here like Stellar just did. Stellar was trying to stop the blue base capture, but needs to just let that one go. And Ninja doing a nice job trying to get that kill onto Lethal. Missed one shot, so he got taken a little weak, but either way, does some really nice damage onto Frosty, who's trying to take the pit. That one gets reset by EG and Roy even switches over to his assault rifle and gets a kill onto Snakebite. So Optic Gaming, we're not used to seeing them be down so much in any game type, let alone on a strongholds like this. And this is EG really playing up to their full potential.
One of the funniest things about watching Evil Geniuses play is they absolutely adjust their playstyle depending on who they're matching up against. They just try a lot harder when they're playing Optic.
They do, and if they would just pretend every single match is against Optic Gaming, then they'll be in a really good position. And that's one of the things that you got to be worried about for EG, is that you can't play to your level of competition. You have to play based on what you know and how you can play. And they have to bring this level of energy every single time, because if they can do so, they're going to be a top 4 team. And it's going to be a matter of who's it going to be, because you have LOL, you have Liquid, and then you have EG. And in my opinion, they've really made a name for themselves. And those are going to be the teams, because I think that we're seeing Allegiance and we're seeing E6 kind of slip here. Yeah, still a couple more weeks to be played, but
Okay, it went over. I was just going to say, if Roy holds that off between 3 people, that would be absolutely insane. Sorry for the interruption, Tom.
No worries. I mean, I thought that they were going to be able to take the pit for Optic Gaming, but right back into EG's control, and that's pretty much going to be the game. I've never seen Optic Gaming lose so handedly, and I haven't seen EG play so good pretty much since X Games. So what a way to start week number 4, day number 2 for EG and their fans. Complete turnaround, giving them the series in control, 1-0 now.
I mean, and that was an amazing game, 100-7, one of the biggest margins of victory that we've seen on this. The absolute biggest margin of victory that we've seen Optic lose a game in
For sure.
Both summer and fall season. So Evil Geniuses, they did everything right here so far from what I can tell as far as preparation for this event here. Ninja going extremely clutch. He learned this one from H1Z1, I can already tell, but pushes in, picked up 3-4 different kills and secured the base. So just great overall play from Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, now moving into Plaza Slayer, I'm curious to see how Optic Gaming is going to respond, because every time we've seen them lose a game number 1, they come back into game number 2 absolutely firing. But here's the thing, I've never seen them lose so bad. So if EG can continue to play like this, who knows where they stand? And I'm curious to see, did Optic Gaming necessarily warm up for this? Because we were seeing EG, they've been warming up. I was spectating them. They were playing custom games, like I said, hours before this one even started. And it looked like they just came in so much more prepared in that game than Optic Gaming did right from the get-go. Fantastic beginning strategy from Stellar, going into the pit, ready for these guys that were Spartan charging into the turbine. So they've obviously done their homework in terms of watching the film and applying themselves. And that's exactly what teams need to be doing with this time. We're coming into crunch time. We had a 4-way tie for 4th place. And I said, whatever team's going to find out the intel and the information on the other guys and applies that, they're going to have a huge advantage. So you can really see EG wanted this one.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it right before the game started. The last time these two teams played on this game type, it was 100-73. Now we're looking at the rematch 100-7. So complete domination out of Evil Geniuses. Now the real question is, are they going to be able to continue this momentum, or is Optic Gaming about to bounce back? Keep in mind, even at the summer finals, we saw Optic Gaming go down 0-2 in a series in that best-of-7 against Cloud9. But just like that, they didn't lose a game the rest of the whole tournament. So these guys are able to just flip a switch, come out and completely dominate. But Evil Geniuses, this is they're controlling the pace of this series so far. Controlled the pace of that game the entire time. The overshields went in their favor. The power weapon control went in their favor. If they're able to keep doing that, if Towie's able to lead this squad here, make sure they're on top of those, keeping the weapons out of the hands of Royal 2 and Frosty especially, they're going to be able to take potentially a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, you made a good point, though, was going back to the summer finals when it was C9, completely different lineup than this EG squad. But one thing was similar was that Ninja was on the team there. And what happened was it was a rigged Strongholds game where it was just a very minor mistake, and that let Optic Gaming get back into it. Now, we saw Optic Gaming try to get back into it by recapturing the pit, but EG answered, and that's what EG is going to have to do every single time. Ooh, nice nades from Lethal onto Ninja going up that loop stairs, and that's 2 kills, however, going on over to both teams. So, nice strategy for both of these squads, and Lunchbox eventually gets the overshield, so advantage on over to EG, and I like that he switched on over to his pistol at that point, because he could have easily kept his sniper rifle out and go for a lot of no-scopes, which we see a lot of players do, but very disciplined.
Not having any ammo left.
Yeah, but very disciplined. I mean, I like that he switched on over there, because so often we see players just constantly going for the miraculous plays, and as we all know, Lunchbox likes to calculate everything, as he says.
And this is Lunchbox we're watching, Tom, not Roy. He doesn't never look at his ammo, so he knows when he ran out.
Yeah,
and just switched the weapon.
Yeah, Roy always the king of picking up battle rifles with only 1 or 2 shots in it, but Roy on your kill feed picking up 2 kills with the SMG, and Lunchbox caught a little bit out of position here, so he's going to have to rotate. Now, you know that he's going to eventually want to get back on over towards Snipe, so they're going to have to get a couple picks and get out of here, because this is going to be Optic Gaming trying to collapse over here on the players of Evil Geniuses. So that's 1 kill, Royal 2 getting 1 onto Stellar. Now, Lunchbox doesn't have any really good lines of sight for the sniper rifle, so ends up trying to switch on over to his pistol, gets outplayed hard by Royal 2 with the Clamor beatdown. And that was unfortunate because you have the sniper rifle. You want to try to get in a position where you're in a medium to long range situation, but he was never in that type of situation because all of the angles that Optic Gaming was taking.
Yeah, I mean, and they're trying to push in and collapse on this fight, but was it what they really needed to do here? Now they need to, since they lost that sniper rifle. Does go ahead and work out in their favor. 3 dead, a 3-for-1 trade. Sniper back in the hands of Stellar here now. Only 4 shots left, however. You can see on Optic Gaming's outlines they're spawning over by Hotel, but Frosty or BB12 there has pushed across the map. And like we said, don't bring a gun to a Splinter Nade fight as Frosty picks up that kill on Stellar.
Yeah, Royal 2 charging into the yard here, picking up a double kill. As you can see, Optic Gaming on the same page, wanting to clear these players for EG out because the overshield is coming up very shortly here. And as you can see, multiple players over there in the flowers, but Royal 2 gets picked off from behind. Frosty trying to help with the overshield area, ends up getting the kill onto Lunchbox. I think Lunchbox was just trying to get that player to burn the overshield and did so. So that's a nice job by him. And they have a 1-kill lead here for EG. Now, they collapse on Lethal over there in the yard, so that's a nice job by them, but they need to get Lunchbox up into a better position because he needs help over there in the truck, and you can see everybody on Optic just making sure they hold this sniper area, and that's exactly what they need to do because there's no reason to go over here and just give up position. As you can see, EG, they're just stuck in loop and yards, so just let those guys sit there, try to get into Hotel, try to get into Flowers, and then just collapse like they did earlier.
Yeah, I mean, Evil Genius is in great position here. 2-kill lead, not another minute or so before the next overshield comes up. They've got a 1-0 lead in the series already. Stellar rocking out a plasma pistol, grabs another kill. You can see Ninja gets taken out as well as Lunchbox over by Loop. 3 members setting up for Optic Gaming by that sniper. That sniper is over in their hands now. We'll try to take a look to see who actually secured that weapon here. And it looks like that is Frosty.
Yeah, Frosty, the player that had a lot of deaths yesterday in that final game, but I'm sure that he got a little talking to from Lethal and is going to pull back the reins a little bit. And let's see what happens here because he has a nasty shot and map movement. 11 bullets here in this sniper rifle. Could do some serious work. And this is kind of that turning point, Kyle. It's tied up here, 22. It was pretty much 21 all. And EG, if they can clutch it here, that's going to give them huge momentum. They do. Overshield coming up here in 30 seconds. And that's really big for EG because now they can have weapon control, they have map control, and if they can get this overshield, they can possibly go up 2-0 in this series. And
not very often do you see Evil Geniuses out-rotate the sniper. Frosty was trying to push into yard, help out his teammates, but the Evil Geniuses just had a great collapse. 2 people pushing in from street or driveway and loop area, pushing into yard while someone came up from behind in that cafe. So it was just great overall play from Evil Geniuses, everyone on the same page.
Yeah, we're on board with Lethal, who has the noob combo, but as that happens, Ninja takes his face off, gets the double kill, gets the top gun, so he's really stepping it up today. Now you have Frosty doing whatever he can to help on this overshield side, but it's not going to be enough because everyone dropping all around him. Good job at least getting the trade there, and every kill matters. As you can see, very tight game, but a little bit worried if you're Optic Gaming because I haven't seen a series ever with this 4 where they haven't been able to find their footing at this point in the series. I mean, they've been down the entire time, right from the beginning of Game 1 all the way up into the middle of Game 2.
Oh my, and look at Ninja staying alive for so long, being a great distraction for his team. Lethal doing also an amazing job staying alive, but he's going to ultimately be taken out here. 6-kill lead for Optic Gaming. Big 1v1 that Royal 2 is actually going to come ahead in here. Stellar's got that sniper. 6 shots left here in the weapon.
Oh!
Great Splinter Nade to take out Frosty. Grabs almost a double here. We'll see if he's able to hit it. Not going to be able to. Must back down. Still 3 shots left in this weapon. I'd like to see Evil Geniuses set up around Stellar. Hopefully let him get a pick. You do not want to give up any free deaths. You cannot afford the mistakes here, especially when you're in such great position already here in Game 2.
Yeah, I'm really liking the way that Evil Geniuses is coming out today. I wasn't expecting this. I thought that with the bad blood here between Lethal and these guys that they would have really rallied on the Optic side to try to put together an amazing performance. But based on what we saw versus Luminosity today and Luminosity yesterday and what we saw today, they're just not playing at the highest level that we know that they can. And meanwhile, EG, they've done a complete turnaround and are really making a statement today as we look at the stats. Roy, we were talking about how when he goes off, he's just amazing, and that is the story here in this game.
And now we still got 9 kill lead. They've slowly been able to build this up more and more. You got Ninja hiding in Hotel. He's getting collapsed on by 2 players. Stellar's going to try to help him out the best he can. Snakebite's able to push down here from the bottom of the lift and finish off that player, but allows Lunchbox to get a light rifle kill. We've got the new power-up coming up soon. Now Frosty does what, or Lethal does what he can, gets a stick, but there are some trades going down here. It's 2 members dead for Evil Geniuses, but they're in better position to grab this new overshield. Nobody able to contest. However, Frosty does have that sniper rifle. We'll see what he's able to do. He really needs to hit a few sniper shots here, but that's going to be too little for him. 46-37 lead. You can see on the Ron V tweet there, are Evil Geniuses Optics kryptonite? That is the question.
I don't know, but based on what we're seeing right now, it seems like Evil Geniuses really has the matchup advantage in the head-to-head. Last time, what, they went out 3-1, and now they're going to go up 2-0 in the series unless something phenomenal happens. There it is. They're only 1 more kill away from being in a dominating position to be able to put Optic Gaming and try to give them, what is this going to possibly be their 3rd loss if they lose this next game? So total different scenario than what we saw yesterday. And as you can see, 16, 13, and 8 performance coming out from Roy. Fantastic pretty much from everybody. Even though Ninja didn't have a stellar KDA, he had that top gun for a while, picking up that overshield at the end and just constantly being aggressive. Even Lunchbox in the beginning of the game with a handful of kills going big. So everybody individually, even Stellar, fantastic team performance here for these guys. And it makes me wonder where Optic Gaming's head's at today.
And Evil Geniuses just defeated Optic by a larger margin of victory than when Optic beat Evil Geniuses on that Plaza Slayer. And also keep in mind that if you were watching in week 1 when these 2 teams played, I think Optic was up like 15 to 20 kills, and then Evil Geniuses actually brought it back and made it a respectable score here. And this is the exact opposite that we're seeing. This is Evil Geniuses leading the entire time.
I wonder what the comms are right now for Optic, what they're, trying to relay to one another and just try to get hyped up here for this game, because, or for this series, especially going into CTF Truth. You don't want to just get absolutely steamrolled. It could get ugly really quickly.
Yeah, and speaking of CTF Truth, once again, another game type that these 2 teams already matched up against where Evil Geniuses was able to, and we showed the clip earlier in the top of the show, I think.
Yeah, the 2-2, and then Lunchbox going and tossing that flag to his...
Roy got the overkill.
Yep, and that was just how these guys play when they're going up against Optic. It's so weird to see the energy in their map movement and the mechanics today compared to yesterday, where we saw people missing melees, not going and doing the small things. We saw Ninja misses jump to top center 2 or 3 times and almost fall off the map on Fathom. And now today he's jumping over people's heads, doing ring around the rosies when he's no shields, picking up multi-kills. So it's just a completely different team today. And it's exciting to see, because I want to see all of these teams playing at the highest level, and when Evil Geniuses brings it, this is what we see from them.
Yeah, I mean, while the series between these guys have not been that close in the past, Lunchbox and Roy, regardless of the 3rd and 4th, when they go up against this squad, they want to win so badly. A lot of it's going to come down to that lethal matchup. Even back in the day, you're going up against somebody, like I always know I love to play against Snipe Down. I love to play against Neighbor, because they were just so rewarding to beat them. You know exactly how they play, where they're going to go on the map. And when you do beat them, you know how much of sore losers they are too. So it's always that much more rewarding.
Well, you're a sore winner. Take that, Kyle.
That's all right. I'll take a sore winner. All right, but this is Capture the Flag on Truth. 3 captures to win. I say we kick this off once again with Ninja, as he's doing amazing things for this squad. We'll definitely stay on board with Roy a lot, as he has been able to just be a powerhouse against Optic, really keep them in check.
A double top center push for EG, a little bit weird. That's going to give Lethal pretty much free shots on these guys, and camo on over to Snakebite. So that's the first mistake that we're seeing from EG, and it actually comes on a beginning strategy. So not a big fan of the way that they played that one. I would rather see more resources towards going over and contesting the camo, or maybe going for the sword, something like that, because while top center, it's a very dominating position in every single map. I mean, Truth, not so much as, say, Regret. So I think that they gave up way too much for free and allowed Optic Gaming to finally get their footing in the series.
All right, now Snakebite is pushing into red base, trying to pick off some of these spawners. Still has camo that is just about to expire here. Looks like it will, in fact, expire just now. The flag is still out, but pink control and the other flag, and Not sure what happened there, but either way, flag is still out here. Ninja doing a great job, takes out P2, throws it in front of the base, buys some extra time for the rest of Evil Geniuses who are coming off spawn to try and contest this. Snakebite pushes down. What a great spot to have the flag.
Of the, whatever that is, the thing. It's sitting on top of the thing. But that's a nice job. Heads up play coming in from Lunchbox to get the touch, and also from Ninja even to keep this flag alive. So throw the beginning strategy out of the window. They were able to clutch it here with that flag toss, and now we're in a little bit of a stalemate. And look at the kills, Kyle. That's 12, 14, 16 kills in a minute and a half for Optic Gaming, yet they're only in a position where the flag's still stuck at their base and their flag has been pulled. So even though they're getting heavily outslayed on the side of EG, they're right in this game.
That was amazing plays from Evil Geniuses in order to contest that, keep that flag alive. I did not expect that to happen. I thought Snakebite had almost a guarantee return. I'm sure Snakebite thought he had a guarantee return as well, but that flag falling on top of, whatever you call those things, bottom center, just worked out perfectly.
And nice job by Stellar, just moving around, keeping as much of his shields as possible while laying down some damage. And a little bit of miscommunication there between Frosty and Lethal, both going for the camo, and Frosty rightfully so grabbing that one since he does have Fuel Rod with plenty of ammo. Now Frosty is the guy that we need to stay on board with because he should be able to get this return with all of these advantages.
Very nice, he's going to push up Pink 3. He's right next to a teammate though, so he might get spotted out. Not actually going to do so. You got Royal 2, however, with a cross-map angle, will pick up the kill there. That's 2 members down there for Optic Gaming. 3 dead, flags down, Stellar's.
Oh, that could have got ugly and scary really quickly. But either way, Frosty does clutch it with the double. Now, you could see the communication for Optic Gaming and the way that they're playing, it's just not as crisp as we usually see. I mean, Frosty over there right next to his teammate when he's camo easily could have been lit up, and he's going on a nice killing spree here. And that's solid because Optic Gaming now able to push into the base. But either way, I'm a little bit worried on the way that these guys have not only just played this series, but this game. They are outslaying these guys heavily, and they're still not able to get an actual flag cap in their hands.
But Frosty able to help secure 3 down for Evil Geniuses. But they are coming off spawn here over at the Carbine side of the map, and they're going to be able to keep that alive. This is some amazing flag rotations here from Evil Geniuses that we really haven't seen all that often. This has turned out to be quite the long flag standoff, one of the longer ones we've seen here on Truth.
I know I'm going to jinx it when I say this, but I want to see a game where the entire game is one giant flag standoff. That would just make me so happy. I really hope we see it here because I feel like it would be just so entertaining to watch. Or if anyone would just get bored and eventually just push their own flag over to the enemy base with it in their hands. It happens, and sometimes it actually pays off, but how funny would it be if you do that, you get the return, and someone gets a split spawn and charges and gets another touch?
I mean, you're going back to look at you did jinx it. Going back to look at that, let's see, it was the former Optic Gaming or LOL playing in relegation where they had a 5-match replay on Fathom. So Fathom, you see those kind of things, just not so often here on Truth. But Lethal, great shots, makes Lunchbox miss that sword lunge, and now he's going to be stalking here Stellar and being able to secure that kill.
Yeah, nice sword lunge coming in from Lethal, and now they're right back into this game and in this series. Once you start giving them their footing, now you can actually look at their screens. They're moving around a little bit more confidently, thrusting, getting a little bit more aggressive, and making decisions that they should be making. And that's a little bit scary for EG here. EG's going to have to get a cap on the board sometime soon. Otherwise, they're going to let Optic Gaming get the momentum that's going to carry them right into a possible Game 5 here. So look at the slays, Kyle, not even close.
Yeah, I mean, Optic Gaming's had control of this game the entire time. Evil Geniuses put up a great fight with the one flag standoff, doing all they can, but it was 2 clutch up plays from Frosty to secure that double kill and prevent a return when Stellar had the sword on that flag.
Lethal obviously angry and trying to get a triple kill because that's what Lethal does, but I think he could have slow played that a little bit more. Now EG getting a couple slays here. Stellar immediately running into the base. That's 2 dead. If they can get this kill instantly, and they do. That Lunchbox with the triple. Wow, that's fast. And Stellar's pulling this one immediately. Actually stays alive somehow. So fantastic cover fire coming in for Evil Geniuses, and they brought it right back 2-1 now.
There's still a lot of time left to play in this game, and you're seeing 2 dead again here for Optic Gaming. You see Ninja's kind of pulling up the rear a little bit here with 5 kills, but still helping out this squad a lot. Stellar,
nice
more perfect shots. Last 2 members of Optic Gaming are trapped below the base here. You have Frosty spawning up on top of the base. Stellar does see that he got some hit markers, knows there's players hiding down here below the base. Still out, it's 3 members. Missed the melee though, and a turnaround and ground pound.
Played super hard. That was a very, very big play for Snakebite. Stellar didn't have to drop. All he had to do, hit 3 players underneath the base. All he has to do is slow play it. Wait, don't chase the kill. Use the map to your advantage, and then Snakebite with the embarrassment. So that's another big play coming out for Optic Gaming, and now you need someone else to step it up here big. Is it going to be Ninja, who's making his way over towards the side of Optic Gaming? Doesn't get that kill onto Snakebite, even though it was a well-placed splinter grenade and good shots, and now Snakebite going to try to get that camo, and he does.
Yeah, and Royal One doing a great job timing these camos here for this Optic Gaming squad. Now, one of those shields top center is going to be taken out. That's going to make Roy move to the other one, trying to wait for his shields to recharge, but he's getting cross-mapped by Pink and Carr. He's not going to be able to stay alive. That's a bunch of people dying here for Evil Geniuses now. 3 dead, but the flag has not been able to be pulled, so they will have to slay the entire team again if they're going to have any chance of securing that last flag capture.
Royal 2's melee doesn't hit there, so Ghost melee. And everyone knows that that's been kind of a problem there, so we'll send that one on over to these guys. But either way, that doesn't matter because Optic Gaming still has this camo and pushing the flag out here. So Snakebite going to try to end this one. But while this is happening, another flag standoff as Evil Geniuses has rotated to the Carbine side of the map. So if this is actually really good for EG, because Kyle, we've talked about it a handful of times where if you can get these flag standoffs and get the returns, it typically results in more than 1 cap, and that's what you need here for the side of EG. You need to win this one 3-2. I think that if this one goes into overtime, based on the slays, Optic Gaming will have an advantage here, and it's not going to get any easier for EG. Optic Gaming's not going to go down without a fight, so they're going to have to step it up even more so than they did so far in the series.
Evil Geniuses knows they can win this game as they've done it before in the past here. You get great shots on Frosty. Roy secures that kill. Getting cross-map from Pink 3 will have a nice thrust to avoid any kind of lines of sight there to be taken out. Optic Gaming is doing a good job of controlling both sides of the map, but Evil Geniuses, like we saw in that first flag capture, is just great at playing defense.
It's weird because Roy has the sword here, so it's the question of, do I play defense or do I get aggressive with that sword? Now, you can say, all right, well, I have the sword, so I can easily just sword lunge anyone that's going to go for the return, but at the same time, you're not adding enough pressure, and that doesn't work out for them in Optic Gaming right back in this series, winning it 2-1.
All right, take a look at some of these stats here. You have 4 flag returns coming out of Optic Gaming, while only 1 flag return here for Evil Geniuses. So you can see just when the flags were moved, when there were those standoffs, there was just better execution here from Optic Gaming. Evil Geniuses did put up a great fight. Now, they need to make sure that, you know, they don't want this to go to a game 5. When you have a 2-0 lead, obviously every team wants to close it out in a quick 3-0, but right there was almost the game. Frosty just being too clutch here and securing that victory, preventing that flag return.
Yeah, you could assume that if Optic Gaming does win Game 5 and we get a winner view with Lethal, he's going to say something along the lines of, well, we just had to make it entertaining, and that's the last thing that you want to hear if you're an Evil Geniuses fan. So now we're going into Eden Strongholds. And yeah, Evil Geniuses, if they play anything like they played Empire Strongholds, you'd have to give them the advantage here. And even though the stat line, you know, and the slays went heavily in Optic Gaming's favor for Truth CTF, I really do like that Evil Geniuses did whatever they could with the opportunities that were given to them. They had multiple flag pulls there. They had numerous standoffs that could have went either way. They just couldn't get the camo. They couldn't get the fuel rod in their hands. And ultimately, that's why they lost that one. 2 fuel rod flag returns for Optic Gaming, and they win that game 3-1.
Now, Eden Strongholds for Evil Geniuses is a very controversial game type because they did lose that game. They had a fairly large lead against Envious, had to do a replay where Envious came out and just manhandled them the entire game. Huge margin of victory. I think they only had to get like 14 points or so on the replay, but essentially they only hit like the 7 points or so on like that Empire Strongholds thing. So Strongholds on Eden, 100 points to win, lots of power weapons. Optic Gaming is clearly the favorites here in this game type, but Evil Geniuses, if they're able to play like they were in the very first matchup against Team Envious in this game type, I could see them closing out the series and once again defeating Optic in a 3-1 best of 5.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, that EG's playing from the red side, and I know that Optic is way more comfortable playing from that because they've practiced that for so long, and you see they always get the overshield in Lethal's hands. So let's see what happens on blue side.
All right, now that camo was up. Ooh, and I don't know if they were able to secure that though, but a great job here. by Optic Gaming as they're able to defeat both players that went for that top catwalk initially, and they're actually going to grab this first secure. Now you do see Ben start to be taken as well, but that looks like it is going to be Optic Gaming who is trying to secure it. Now Evil Geniuses does recognize that, quickly kills that player. Oh, I thought that was about to be a betrayal for a moment there. Roy does have the rockets in his hand. We'll go on board with him as he just immediately dies, and that's rockets down.
Royal 2 also has the camo over at Red Base as Frosty's trying to fight this Blue Bend player. And someone needs to get control of this red nest, though, because it's just sitting there up for grabs. No team scoring any points quite yet. And this is kind of reminding me of that Empire Strongholds game that E6 had, where no one captured the pit for about 1 minute and 30 seconds here, which is very, very untypical. So let's see what Frosty can do with these rockets. At least gets that trade on the Ninja. Lethal rotating over towards that catwalk. And there you can see Optic Gaming did get that red nest, so now they're scoring points. If you're unfamiliar with Strongholds, 2 out of the 3 Strongholds need to be captured in order for you to rack up points. First to 100 points is going to win, and rockets are going to be dropping here in 40 seconds. After that, Overshield and Camo will be coming back up within that 9:45.
What a nade.
Yeah, nice nade, and they're getting a triple cap here at the same time. So Blue Bend is going to be going on over to Optic, but a fantastic job by EG, not only getting catwalk, but also taking red nest.
All right, now Lethal did go up and jump into the top center hill, but he's going to be taken out by Ninja. You do have control still in their favor. 2 members of Optic pushing this top middle, trying to contest. Lunchbox needs some help here, not going to be able to get it in time. Catwalk going back over to Optic Gaming, and they're going to slowly, or quickly, decrease this lead here. We're going to be all tied up in just a moment.
Yeah, but again, rockets coming up here pretty soon, so next couple of seconds, very big for both teams not to give up any deaths. And going back to when Optic Gaming retook that catwalk, I think Lunchbox was a little confused because he heard some footsteps coming from his right-hand side. He peeked over there and found out that it was a teammate, and then unfortunately, he wasn't looking over towards mid-bridge where he could have picked up 1 kill. Now, rockets do come in onto Roy, however, they do get the overshield in the hands of Ninja, so Ninja needs to get out of this pit area and try to get into a more powerful position because Optic Gaming has the rockets, and that's exactly what Frosty knew. He knew Ninja was going to try to make his way over towards that red fan area. Sees a couple players, that's going to be 2. Make that a triple kill. Is this going to be an overkill? I think that is. Is it going to give him the medal, though? Am I bad at math, or was that not all the players?
I thought it gave him a triple.
I thought that was an overkill.
Oh, I don't know.
Because that was a 2-for-1, right? He killed Ninja, right? That was the 2-for-1 over there in the security side, and then he got the kill on the guy in front of the base. What is going on? Well, give him the overkill.
Yeah, it could have potentially been just a little bit too short there, but clearly Frosty, just like we saw in the last game, going ridiculously clutch for this squad here, keeping Optic Gaming fans' hopes alive against this Evil Geniuses rematch of Match of the Week.
Yeah, it looks like Optic Gaming has finally woke up. So in my opinion, this series has just started here because you have the momentum heavily in Optic Gaming's favor, not just in this game, but after winning that previous match as well. So again, someone's going to have to step it up, whether that's going to be, you know, Roy like we saw in that Plaza Slayer game, or maybe it's going to be Ninja. But either way, I think it's going to take a complete team effort here for EG, because Optic Gaming, once you get them going on Empire Strongholds and you give them a triple cap, it gets really, really ugly.
Ooh, and Stellar's trying to charge Catwalk to contest Nest, but that's not going to work out as Royal 2's hiding Catwalk to take him out. Royal 2 then picking up a double kill. Roy will finish him off, but this triple cap in Optic Gaming's favor is a scary moment for Evil Geniuses, because we've seen just how effective they can be at holding this. They are one of the best teams to set up and control all 3 strongholds.
Yeah, that was actually a triple kill from Royal 2. I had the luxury of being able to see that over here off the stream, and it was a nasty LBR for the triple. So now Optic Gaming really showing what they're made of here. And if you're EG, you have to not really push on this catwalk. I'd be focusing probably on this Blue Bend because of the fact that the rockets did just drop, as you heard. So there's no reason to push into security quite yet, or even charge for that catwalk, because you know at least 1 or 2 players are going to be locking that down for Optic Gaming. So you want to try to avoid those positions and try to draw out the players for Optic and put them in an uncomfortable position. But as you can see, Frosty just laying down free shots on these guys. And I think Overshield did go over to Stellar. No, it didn't. So now, no power-ups for EG, and that's what you need to try to get back in this one.
All right, now Snakebite's also focusing on the next triple cap here. He's got another teammate here. You can see how fast that is being captured. That's another triple kill in their hands. Roy, oh, great shots by Roy. Actually able to take out that player. However, they are contesting it now. Stellar is going to be able to secure this, stop some of the bleeding, but 75-15 lead. This is slowly or quickly turning into a blowout game, almost the exact opposite of what we saw here in game number 1 when Evil Geniuses was doing this to Optic. Stellar does get taken out, not even close to securing that catwalk. Just they're not able to get any kind of real control, and it looks like they're focusing on different strongholds as well. So they really need to get a coordinated push. You have to
this
get
one's over,
several
Kyle,
people dead.
honestly. I mean, when you look at the way that Optic Gaming's rotating right now, it's going to be so difficult for EG to come back in this one, especially with this triple cap that's just started. So only one more push for Evil Geniuses before it's too late and we will be going into game 5. But what's worrying me that we haven't seen in the first 2 games that we're seeing now is the confidence individually coming out from everybody on Optic Gaming, where as you can see, Killing Frenzy and triple kill for Frosty, looking for another overkill. But here's the thing, what's not happening again, Kyle, is they're not winning individual battles, which has to do with your confidence. So I'm worried what the communication is like for Evil Geniuses right now, because they have to be a little bit scared. Optic Gaming's really turned it on in just such a dominating performance. Only 2 kills for Lunchbox. Frosty with 23. That's an insane difference.
This cannot be accurate. There's got to be something happening here, because 23 kills from Frosty with 2 from Lunchbox. Yeah, given it was a blowout game, but you know, Snakebite rocking out 7 kills. Like, this is absolutely both of these game win victories for Optic Gaming have come at the hands of Frosty.
2 kills is just unacceptable for Lunchbox. I mean, I know it's a complete team effort, but just very small things in terms of just the miscommunication there, where we remember seeing Lunchbox over there in the red nest area, and there it was. I thought that was the triple kill right there. It's totally an overkill, man. That was definitely an overkill in my book. We're going to give it to him. But either way, when Lunchbox was over in that red nest area and then he saw a teammate to his right, just small things like that are what can't happen, because now Optic Gaming's really showing what they're made of, and there it was, Royal 2.
Shout out to Replay Operator for
shout out to
Replay.
Box. Yeah, and I'm actually using my Xbox here that I've been given by ESL for the first time in a long time. So now we have 2 different screens to watch.
All right, good deal. Now, of course, Rig Slayer, game number 5, and it's the momentum leads. Look at the scores of these games, like just complete reverse as far as blowouts go. And now with the momentum in Optic Gaming's hands, like this is a scary moment. And we're looking at what could have happened in week number 1, where it almost went to game number 5 here. This is going to be Slayer Rig, 50 kills to win. Now, how do you see this one playing out?
I don't know. I'm going to have to give it to Optic Gaming based on the momentum that they've got going for them, because, yeah, I want to say this is Ninja's map. I think Rig Slayer, he's fantastic at this game type. Again, we're saying he's very good at Empire Strongholds and Rig. I think he has a great understanding of those based on playing with him and playing against him. So I want to see Evil Geniuses come back and you know, make this a close game, but the way that we saw Eden Strongholds, it was just complete domination from Optic. So you have to come out here extremely strong if you're Evil Geniuses. You can't afford to give, you know, a 4-0 or a 4-1 lead to these guys. And fortunately for EG, they are red base, which I think does have the advantage here in terms of beginning strategies. You get that sniper rifle typically for free, and you have the better angle going for the camo, but the plasma caster and shotgun do go over to the blue team.
All right, now this is, as far as good news for Evil Geniuses, this is one of Ninja's stronger maps and game types here. So looking to him to have a really big game here and try to lead this Evil Geniuses squad, you know, to victory. Keep in mind that the Lunchbox and Roy had the choice of, you know, either Ninja or Victory when they were looking to replace a player, and they did go ahead and elect to replace Victory here. So that's a lot of pressure on Ninja's shoulders to still perform.
Yeah, I don't think Ninja's necessarily thinking about that, but you're right. It could have been a decision between Ninja and Victory. I'm not sure how that necessarily panned out. The thing is I thought this team wasn't even in need of a change to begin with, because of the fact that they've already had some really amazing series that are chemistry builders for your squad and that you can kind of go off on. But the players know better than us. They're dealing with some internal things, I'm sure, and they're, you know, constantly scrimming and getting a feel for what they want to do. And sometimes when a lot of other people are making changes, that feels like you need to make a change as well. But either way, taking a look at this game now, game number 5, this is the kind of start that EG needed. However, Roy ends up dying with that sniper rifle, so someone needs to just grab that thing and run away, and thank goodness Stellar does, because they need to value their lives and do some sort of setup. As you can see, Stellar sees his players spawn over there on the side of the bunker. Now, Kyle, I actually want to turn off the player outlines for this one if we can do so, and we'll see what happens as Stellar does have the snipe.
All right, here we'll do that in just a moment. As Stellar is in that 1v1 battle, he's going to be taken out. It's tied game right now. Lethal is putting some shots down on these players, Engine 2, and we'll see if they're able to build any kind of big leads. You got the new Plasma Caster getting ready to spawn here, and you have lots of action going on. Lethal Rally charging over towards them. He's going to set up and try to contest these players that are around the camo. We still got another 20-30 seconds here before that's going to actually spawn up again.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens as we have Lethal setting up over here and controlling the SMG area, and I really like this play from him because of the fact that camo's coming up. So he's just locking this area down. Ooh, the shotgun gets delivered to him as well. So
with new camo,
yeah, that's fantastic for him because this is a really powerful position to get a fantastic angle on the camo, because if you can lock down basement window, that's typically the area where people will be trying to fight from. However, Stellar completely aware of that and pushes towards the snipe hole, so that camo's still available. Now that's going to be Ninja trying to make his way towards it. Can he stay on the map? He needs to get out of that trenches area, laying down some shots onto Royal 2, so really nice shots for these guys, but Royal 2 pops back out and takes his face.
Now camo is down bottom center. No one's been able to secure that yet, and Royal 2, come on now. Why are you doing that?
Oh. Ends up challenging that player as well with the DMR, but thrusts back. So I like this positioning coming in from Royal 2, just sitting there watching mid-bridge. Personally, my favorite spot to snipe, especially if you do have a shotgun in your back pocket. He doesn't have that. He has a DMR, but here's the thing. This is what Optic Gaming loves to do. They constantly push on you on the barrel side, so you have to be aware of this push, and then they'll immediately get the kills, and then you're spawning over in that bunker area. Then they like to rinse and repeat. So here it comes. They're going to immediately try to push back up towards the tower, or wait for players to go into the overpass area. There's one. As he get the kill, he does. So that's going to be Roy dropping, and now Optic Gaming slowly building on a lead.
All right, 20-15, so it's still anybody's game at this point. We've seen much bigger deficits being overcome here than this. You have some great nades coming out of lunchboxes. He's able to secure a kill. Now Snakebite does have that new plasma, or what's left of this plasma caster here. 3 shots. Is he going to use those and shoot some charged up shots into Rail 2, or is he going to set back up and just try to lock down one of these positions of the map? Looks like he will go ahead and start charging some of those. Now that's also going to be a sniper here over to Frosty. They will grab and secure that new one. 6 kill lead now. Evil Geniuses needs to be really careful to not let this one get out of reach.
Yeah, and if I was EG, just try to slow this one down a little bit, try to get a couple of picks here, and just make sure that you're not giving any free kills on over to Frosty, because that's what he's looking for. So just wait for this camo to come up, make your play then, and play accordingly.
Right now, Frosty is just watching this tower 2 spot, waiting for a player to pop up. Does not know that there is no one currently up there yet. Now Ninja does grab a kill over there, or Stellar grabs one with the help of Ninja over towards Nest area. So back down to a 5 kill lead, and Ninja, you can see him, he's getting shot at, but does a great job of escaping. But Frosty, he's on the hunt now and will spot him out. Doesn't even need to use the sniper.
Frosty just playing so patient here, and that's what you can do when you have such cool comms like the side of Optic Gaming does. And look at that shot coming in for Frosty. He's looking for more. Can he hit it onto Stellar? No, Stellar charging in and stopping that. Amazing plays coming out from Frosty, but we'll see what EG can do here, because Optic Gaming really starting to gain some momentum as you see Royal 2 landing some nice plasma caster shots. And here's the thing, Kyle, they have weapons on the side of Optic Gaming. You have to get these weapons out of their hands if you want to be EG and stand a chance.
Ooh, and Roy has the shotgun there, pushes up, grabs the kill on Snakebite. Now he's getting some help from his brother, or no, Stellar there, and they will pick up a trade. So that is, the plasma caster down. But, Lunchbox, as you can see in the kill feed there, just suicided here as well. Roy has that shotgun, but got spotted out, will be killed by nades. Back up to a 9 kill lead here now for Optic Gaming. And wow, Royal 2 finding that sniper. That's not what you're going to want to have happen if you are an Evil Geniuses fan, as they really need to start cutting back on these deaths.
It's Frosty and Royal 2, man. Those guys have the capability to absolutely carry games, just like Roy and Ninja do. So again, it's just a game within a game. Whoever's going to be playing better at the given point in time, whoever rides that momentum wave, is going to just be in prime position here. And I love how Royal 2 gets back into this powerful position, holding down top tower, just waiting for players to poke out or to appear on the radar. Sees one down below him. That's Ninja. Ninja needs to get out of there ASAP. Has some help coming in. Nice job by EG to keep him alive. However, Royal 2 staying alive as well.
Right, now Royal 2 is still jumping around Tower 2, and that's going to be 2 snipers now in the hands of Optic, and that's a scary, scary thing to see here.
2 best snipers on your team have the weapon, so Roy finally getting a kill and taking that out of their hands, but this is looking really ugly for Evil Geniuses. They let these guys back into the series, and this is what happens when Optic Gaming smells blood. They're like sharks in the water.
All right, here now it is a 13-kill lead, just over 5 minutes left. Evil Geniuses, they could still potentially win this one. It is not over yet, as long as you're able to get the sniper here out of Frosty's hands. We've seen what Ninja, Roy have been able to do, especially closing some gaps. So you actually find some extra ammo there, Tower 2. Looks like it was only about 2 shots or so. There's a 40-27 here lead, and wow, Roy getting his face ripped off when he had that shotgun. That was pretty much like a last-ditch effort, I think, from Evil Geniuses' end, and it did not pay off.
Yeah, and while that's happening, I believe Snakebite picked up the camouflage, and this is getting out of hand real quick. They're lining up no scopes at this point, and they're hitting them. Roy drops to Frosty to a snapshot. Multiple players now flooding in for Optic Gaming, but look at these guys. They're just gonna now charge over towards the barrel side, going for no scopes, charging because they can't lose at this point, feeling extremely confident, and why not? They've had the fantastic comeback, and the reverse sweep is possibly in their grasp. Only 4 more kills, Kyle, and they will do it.
Oh, and Frosty going for some of those no-scope shots there. Sees Lunchbox is still no shields, grabs that kill. Maybe even looking at a Game 5 steak dinner here on Evil Geniuses. This one is not looking good if you're a fan.
Oh! Man, that was a disgusting snapshot. They're looking to just end this one in style. Frosty and Royal 2 show to end week 4, day number 2. And just a disappointing series for Evil Geniuses because they just started so amazing. Really thought that that's what we're going to see from the rest of the day and possibly the rest of this season, but then they fall just short. And then Lunchbox and Ninja there going -8 respectively for Lunchbox and -10 there for Ninja. So that's 18 combined and only losing by 20. So again, just a very big missed opportunity for EG, and they're going to be feeling that one the entire weekend.
I mean, and that was just too many clutch plays from Optic Gaming, especially with these snipers, the no-scopes Frosty's hitting. The fact that Frosty thrusts forward in a battle Tower 2 against, I think it was Lunchbox, and then shoots him a couple times with the pistol and pulls out the sniper rifle to actually hit that no-scope. And like we just saw, that is going to be, I don't know if we've seen any reverse 3-0 sweeps yet this season, but that is going to be one here for Optic Gaming over Evil Geniuses. So Optic Gaming living up to the hype and getting their revenge after that week 1 3-1 victory for EG.
Yeah, the only reverse sweep that comes to mind is the one that happened in Santa Ana at the Orange County event in the Esports arena. So that was Envy reverse sweeping Most Wanted after being down 0-2. So both Optic Gaming and Envy so far pulling off the reverse sweeps, which just reminds me, Kyle, where I was talking about how even if you're up 2-0 in the series, you can never allow any of these teams to come back, especially the number 1 and the number 2 seeds, because it doesn't get any easier. Just because you're playing well and you have the lead doesn't mean that they're just going to fall over and die. They're going to fight for every inch, and their backs are against the wall, and that's when you're going to see what they're really made of, and that's what happened.
And I'm really excited as well because Frosty was able to hit his 250 subs on Twitch and has agreed to do an interview.
Oh, yeah?
One of the first times we're getting to speak to this kid. Very mischievous, very curious as to see his setup and what's going on here. And he just had a monster game. Frosty, how you doing after that 3-0 reverse sweep?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Doing good. So in the beginning of the series, what happened? Were you guys just, getting off to a slow start, or was EG coming in hot? Because we typically see, you guys have games like this where it's kind of close and then you guys pull it out, but 100-7, that's not very like you guys.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely came out hot. We were playing pretty sloppy, but we knew after the first 2 games we can just turn up and easily win the next 3. So I mean, that's what we did. We all started playing a lot better than the first 2 games, and so we ended up winning the next 3 pretty easily.
So I see you're taking a page out of Lethal's book and got a little bit of a Zen candle going on. Is that something that everybody on the team is starting to pick up?
I'm not sure if PJ and Matt do it, but I think it's definitely key. Helps out a lot. It smells good.
All right, so I was looking at the game types, and 4 out of the 5 game types are being played in this series that were played in the very previous series. Now, you guys did drop that one 3-1 in your first match against EG. Were you guys just not worried that those same game types popped up and you were just ready to tackle those for revenge?
I mean, I don't know. For the most part, we have certain game types that we want to play, and even if we have like, I don't know, I guess like fluke losses you can call them, we want to like keep playing them no matter what. Really, just like we know we can win them, and if we lose them, it doesn't really matter. We just want to keep playing them.
Now, Frosty, of course, you guys had the team change, and now you're all on Optic Gaming, obviously, representing the org extremely well. You know, what is it like being on Optic Gaming as opposed to some of the older organizations that you've been with?
I mean, this is the best organization you can be on. I mean, the fans are insane, and it's obviously like got a huge fan base. So being able to represent them is like a crazy thing. I'm glad we can be on this org.
So you guys saw, I'm sure you guys were watching some of the matches today, and then Envy obviously continuing to play well. You guys had the opportunity to play them Esports Arena on LAN, ended up beating them. But when you guys have these online performances, that's 2 Game 5s now. What are you guys going to try to do to make sure that you can muscle out the rest of these online games to try to get yourselves in the best position possible?
I mean, we just have to start playing better in these Pro League matches. It's kind of a struggle playing online, but I know we can play better later in the league or later in the season. So I'm not worried about it. I think we'll be fine later on.
Good deal. Now, how do you guys go about the veto process here? We know some teams have their coaches involved. I know Royal One's with you, and you guys even have like Clutch come back sometimes too. How involved is Royal One here with your guys' squad?
I mean, Royal One knows just as much as we do. I mean, he helps us out. Like, he knows when we're messing up. He knows, like, if we're playing really well on a game type. So we just go through, like, every time before vetoes, we just go through what our best game types we think we're playing on that week. And, like, we just try to get those. Obviously, we can't get the ones we want all the time. Like, we're probably not going to play Kali Flag at all. I don't know if we have already. We probably have. But we usually, like, never get that game type just because teams veto it against us. But there's usually like set game types that we play every time that we like a lot better than others.
Gotcha. All right, Frosty. Well, congratulations on hitting 250 subs on your stream and taking the time out to speak with us once again. Always a pleasure to have you here, and best of luck for the rest of the season.
All right, thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Frosty, calm, cool, collected all the time. He's a stone cold killer.
Yeah, those no-scopes at the end, a lot of fun to watch, and just has to be so deflating if you're Evil Geniuses and an Evil Geniuses fan, because you're looking so good again, and then all of a sudden it's game number 5. You're right there. It's only about 5 to 10 kill game, and then you look in the kill feed, sniped by Royal 2, sniped by Frosty. They both have snipers with tons of ammo, and they just sealed the deal.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a rough thing for Evil Geniuses because we're looking at a repeat of last season where it came down final day, final match for them to make it into the Pro League, and they're going to be even in a worse spot than they were last season.
Yeah, one of the things that we saw from EG today, though, is if they play every team like they're going up against Optic, they can come out with that fire. They have to continue to keep that fire, and even if they lose a game, they have to try to build themselves back up. They can't just let teams get back into the series. They can't doubt themselves. If they lose any games, then you just immediately drop it and move on to the next one.
All right, but that does it for the last match of the night. Let's go ahead and take a recap here and look at today's schedules with the scores and how the series played out. Luminosity with a 3-0 over Allegiance, with a Team Envious 3-2 victory over LOL. So that one's exciting to see what both these teams are going to be doing going forward. Liquid proving why they are one of the best teams here in the league for Halo 5 with another victory over Enigma 6. And then another epic match of the week here. Optic Gaming narrowing out Evil Geniuses in a 3-2 victory, but then of course just off to a slow start and came back with that hot reverse sweep.
Yeah, entertaining games today. Wasn't expecting to see the 2 3-0s that we saw. Was expecting the teams to be a little bit more evenly matched, but on the other side, the other games were extremely entertaining. 2 game 5s that could have went either way, but either way, Envy and Optic, they continue their dominance here in the fall season.
All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at the standings and how these teams are going to be sitting after week 4, day number 2. You got Envious still on that number 1 spot, 7-1. Optic Gaming starting to close the gap some more too, but you know, both of these teams, Envy and Optic, both went to game 5s here today. Liquid still in a nice, comfortable 3rd place spot. Well, let me not say comfortable there, but still in that 3rd place spot. And then Luminosity pulling away and distinguishing themselves as 4th seed.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing is Allegiance, they're on the verge of hitting the relegations. Like you were saying, it's a must-win for them. But the interesting story is what's going to happen there. You still have Team Liquid, Luminosity, LOL, EG, and E6. All of those teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams battling it out for 2 spots to see who's going to make it into that playoff final.
All right, now, of course, that does it for week 4, but we have more action next week for week 5, day number 1. We'll watch LOL battle Luminosity, so a lot on the line here to start off week 5. Enigma 6 versus Optic Gaming, Allegiance versus Evil Geniuses, and Team Liquid versus Team Envious. So yeah, there are a lot
on the line.
Good ones in
store.
Yeah,
a lot on the line, especially in this first game, LOL going up against Luminosity. And then the other big story is going to be Allegiance and Evil Geniuses, both these teams looking to bounce back here. So we'll finally get a chance to also see that rematch of Team Liquid versus Envious, where Team Liquid ended up giving that hot 3-0 to Envy, and Envy trying to get some revenge.
Now, of course, if you liked what you saw and you want to take a look at the standings, the schedules, or get in store, watch some of those VODs here that we've had over these 4 weeks, you can always head over to proleague.com/Halo to find all of the action there. Now, that's going to do it for T-Squared and I, signing off here from the Xfinity desk. Great games here tonight. Can't wait to see you guys next week. GG's and good night.